Hello, welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard. That's L-E-N-A-R-D. It looks French. It's not. It's Leonard without an O. Thank you for tuning in. As Graham Norton used to say on his show, let's get on with the show! Welcome to Deja Vu Week. No, that's not what it is. But kind of, sort of. Welcome to Books/Authors Week, May 2026. Just coming out of April 2026, Books/Authors Week, and October Books/Authors Weeks of October 2025. So yes, you guessed it. It's all about cucumbers and tomatoes and deli shopping. Yep. Books. Let's get on a guest. Joining me today, not going to bother to even attempt to pronounce her last name, S.E.
Schritter.
Schritter.
Schritter. Most of the letters are silent. Yeah. The T is silent. And yeah.
In post, I'll put the scrawl on the bottom for the behind the scenes video viewers, and for the benefit of the audio and the transcript, the last name is T-S-C-H-R-I-T-T-E-R.
Yes.
Okay.
Very German. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silent T, Schritter. Okay. I guess I get. Yeah. Keeler on my mom's side, so I'm part German heritage.
Yeah. I grew up, Lewis, and then last name was Evans, my late husband, and then Schritter. So
well, at least your book hasn't been put through the shredder.
That's true.
Right?
Nice.
Just the way my ADHD OCD brain works.
Perfect.
But I wanted to hit record right away, and before we get into what you're here for, what we were talking about before hitting record, I was on Mango Monday Music X-Space, and good thing the Zoom notice popped up. So I'm scrambling. Oh my God, my meeting starts. I forgot because I didn't set my alarm clock. You were saying about setting alarm clock too?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there was one interview that I had 3 minutes to get ready for because I missed it. And it was like, changing clothes and makeup, got just a tiny bit, and 3 minutes, like total transformation. So
I hear you. And you were saying you're currently in a new book, the creation of. I've been writing my next new short story that'll be a Kindle exclusive. It's going to drop in a couple weeks in May of 2026. So so you're in the middle of your next book.
Yeah, and when you start getting into that space where you're in, for me it's fiction, right? So I totally disappear into another world, and then my kids call and they're like, "Mom, I need," and I remember that I have children again. Like it's just a really weird. So, yeah.
Yeah. Who are you?
Right. I released a book.
I don't see you on my pages here. Who are you?
I don't. Yeah. What's your name? I don't understand what's happening. Right. Yeah. You expect the characters to call you. That's what you expect. Yes.
All right. So now that all that weird stuff that wasn't planned is out of the way, let's back up to the actual planned stuff. First, where were you born and raised? Where are you now? Significant places you may have been in between, that sort of thing.
Sure. I was born in, a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. I tell most people Chicago.
I'm joking, people. I'm joking. Detroit area for me. Pistons, Bulls, right.
I definitely lived there during the three-peat,
Boo!
Yeah, right. Well, not for people in Chicago. Anyway, and then I went to school. I went to a Christian school in St. Paul, Minnesota. lived in Oregon for a little bit, moved back to Minnesota, and my current husband, because my late husband passed away in 2019. I remarried in 2020. I can't even use numbers anymore. 2023 is when I remarried, 10/10/23, and he was transferred to Simpsonville, South Carolina for work. So that is where we are now.
Okay. Minnesota, eh? It's
Minnesota.
almost
Yeah.
like a Canadian accent. Surrey,
You
man, not
you get
Surrey. Coo, 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 coo. The Great White North. Yeah.
You're so fun. Yeah, no, the
The Mall of America. I
Mall of
wouldn't go
America. I've
there
been there.
now. That area is so out of control with crime and whatnot, but love the Mall of America. For those who don't know, it used to be the world's biggest mall. Don't know if it is anymore. Converted from an old baseball park. In fact,
Yeah.
they still have a upper deck seat at the top of the corner, and in the middle there's a mini amusement park where the field used
Yeah.
to be.
There are roller coasters, multiple roller coasters
Mhm.
inside the
A
mall.
log flume, if it's still there.
Yeah, as
Love
far as
that
I know.
place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haven't been there in decades. Again, I wouldn't go now. I
I was there in
it
2023.
oh, were you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're here you live to tell the tale,
I
huh?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was about to say I wouldn't suggest flying into Minnesota to go to Mall of America like I did a couple times, unless if you can also afford full-time armed bodyguards to be with you.
Right. I
I mean,
survived. I'm
yeah,
okay.
and I'm saying that as somebody from the
Mhm.
Detroit suburb. Detroit's a lot better nowadays. It's pretty clean, actually.
Nice.
Anyway, way down another rabbit hole again. That's The Prodigal Son, Crackhead to Jesus Freak, Book One, Addiction Recovery Support Series. First thing that comes to mind, I gotta ask, is this partly inspired by the My Pillow Mike Lindell guy from
No,
Crackhead to CEO book? No?
no, not at all. It is a memoir. It is creative nonfiction. And my late husband was a crack addict and an alcoholic and became a pastor
Mm.
and then relapsed. So it's this whole journey of addiction and relapse and grace and overcoming shame and the battle of addiction.
Uh-huh. And the you're with Mickey Mickelson, right? Yes.
I am. Yes.
We both know Mickey.
We
On
do.
his
Yes.
release, it says now on pre-sale with a release in January 26th. Well,
So
we're recording in April of
we
2026,
are.
so the book is out now. Yes.
Book is out. Yeah. And it spent the first 2 months on the bestseller list and it's doing really well. So it's been good. A lot of
Well,
reviews are coming in and saying
yeah.
thank you for writing this book. So it's been a powerful tool to help other people who are going through either like who know someone who's battling addiction or going through their own battles with addiction. It's been really great.
Yeah, Mike Lindell's book did really well, from Crackhead to CEO, the My
Well,
Pillow founder. There is an appetite for things like this because so many people, if they're not directly going through that struggle, it can be an analogy or a metaphor for their struggles and can help them. Yes?
100%. Yes. Yeah. Shame. Everyone battles shame and feeling insufficient at times. So it definitely touches everyone in that way.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. Bye bye. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke, people. I like to keep my show short, but not that short.
Not that short. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to writing my fictional characters
Yeah.
now.
Uh, the one, since you brought it up again,
Mhm.
is the one you're working on a sequel? Because this one's called subtitle Book One.
It is called Book One. Yeah. If I write a sequel, it's going to be called The Widow's Mite, and it'll be more from my perspective of dealing with the loss of a spouse. However, right now I'm doing fiction because I just needed a break from that really, really hard. That was like a soul-sucking book, not gonna lie. It was a rough one.
Yeah, I can imagine. Indeed, most Well, I have fiction and nonfiction. Nonfiction is more based on the show, our
Right.
Judeo-Christian Foundation's educational series nonfiction. Most of my other books are indeed fiction. But as they say, write what you know.
Right.
So even things from my life certainly get fictionalized and get put in there. And the same with you, I take it.
100%. Yeah. Like even like sometimes I had a character, I was describing her and I needed to just put her in an outfit and I was wearing burgundy sweats. So my character is wearing burgundy sweat because it doesn't matter, but you she needs clothes. So grab a pair of burgundy. Like be
Uh,
creative where you need to be creative and, use
right. Exactly. No, would have been no sense spending a week and a half, pun intended, since you
right.
mentioned
Right.
sweating over that detail.
Right. What is she gonna just what the first thing that comes to mind? And it's kind of like Mad Libs almost writing a book.
Mhm. I mean, unless if it really matters, obviously, in
Right.
certain cases, in certain scenes, they need to be attired a particular way, and that's why you would describe
Right.
it as
It's part of
such.
this setting or it describes the character more and yeah, things like
Yes.
that. But if it doesn't matter, don't spend too much time on it.
I'm going to hold this up close to the camera
Okay.
so people could kind of see the cover on the
Yeah.
behind the scenes video
I have a
of the
copy like not too far away. I can put my
I
headphones in.
well, most
Yeah.
listen over audio the 40-ish audio platforms. I only have 5 video channels. So,
Okay.
but I still like to drop the video behind the scenes. I prefer video. I like to
I do too.
see. I want to see the person, and you know
Yeah.
my Italian background and my hands waving, right?
I suppose it's harder if people are driving though. They're just going to do the audio then, right?
Exactly, right. And about the short shows, I was joking by, but I try to keep my shows around 30 minutes. That way, your lunch break, 10 minutes to the diner, order your food, put on the podcast, eat. You're done with your food. The podcast's
You're done with the
done.
show? Yeah.
Pay, go home, or go back to
Right,
work.
right. I like that's really smart. That's a smart business strategy, actually.
Yeah, it's almost as if I actually thought about it.
Right?
It just
Nice.
kind of works that way, and I apply that ex post facto now. But I did coin today's Twitter, TikTok attention span. Everybody wants short.
Yeah, they do. It's the same thing with the book, right? You have to hook them in the first page or the first paragraph or yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are
Yeah.
you are you writing full length novels?
I am. Yes, that's my goal. Romantic suspense is what I'm headed for right now. So,
Okay. Yeah, I find of late I've been writing novelettes, and like I said, the one I'm working on now, so I could try to make it a 99-cent Kindle ebook exclusive because got to help them stretch their entertainment dollar and again the attention span thing. So
hmm hmm
novelettes are shorter. I might read that then. Otherwise, anybody trying to write War and Peace today, good luck with that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They look at the page count and they're like, "No, thanks." Yeah.
Exactly. And of course, the higher the page count, the higher the print cost. Well, with ebook, it
It's easier.
matters
Yeah.
less. But yeah, actual print books,
Right.
higher the page count, the higher the cost, the higher the MSRP of the book has to be. And we got to be mindful of people's budgets these days. Yes.
Yeah, you want to make it as accessible as possible. That's why I made Prodigal Son available on Kindle Unlimited because if people have the subscription, then go for it. You know?
They may not otherwise read it if it's not in the Kindle Select or Kindle Unlimited
Correct. Yeah.
availability. So, okay, well, let's talk. Well, coming into the room in the last minute, you could see. In fact, I was just on Suno before this because I was listening to Mango Monday Music X Space. A couple of my tunes are played in the space, and I've had an ongoing running gag for decades now. Mornings, bah humbug. They'd be great if they came around 1 p.m. instead, right? So the light bulb went on, and I should do a song. Mornings, bah humbug. So that's another thing I just did before the Zoom alert said, "Hey, you got a meeting in 5 minutes, dummy. You better get ready." So in fact, a line in there, my brain still foggy, but feeling a bit squirrely. And that's exactly my space right now. I'm like, interview? How do you do these things? So just take over. What do you really want to tell the audience?
Oh my gosh. All right. I was looking forward to like a question to answer. Tell us about life. So like I said, Prodigal Son was super hard to write emotionally because it was my late husband's story. He actually asked me to write his story. So he had been a crack addict when he was 19, and he said God knocked him upside the head with a 2x4. That was his wording.
With a cross.
Right? Like he just bam. And then he became sober after that, but he relapsed into alcohol. He never relapsed into crack addiction, but he relapsed into alcohol in the beginning of our marriage. And then he was sober for about 9.5 years. And there was a weekend he had been telling me like, "Hey Sam, I've been sober for 9 years. You can buy some alcohol if you want," which a lot of people told me like was him asking me to buy it because right?
He wanted it around.
He wanted it around. But I didn't know that. Anyway, I had alcohol in the house and I had made a drink or two over the course of a couple weeks. I'm not an alcoholic. So the alcohol just sat there. It was there. And I went away for a writing weekend. And that same weekend, his mentor slipped on the steps. We're talking Minnesota, January, right? Slipped on ice, fell back, hit his head, and went into a coma and passed away a week later.
Oh.
This is my real life.
Oh.
And I was gone, and my late husband Clint relapsed that weekend. He was a pastor and he didn't tell me about his relapse. So he relapsed at the end of January in 2017. And I like March, April, I caught him once. Like I just saw that the level of the vodka bottle was low. And I was like, "You need to not drink. You can't drink. You can't drink." And he's like, fine. And I was in denial at that point because he was a pastor. Things were going well. I was like, everything's fine. It's fine.
And
it's fine.
it doesn't sound
Right?
like he was blackout drunking.
No,
at that point.
Not at that point. In the beginning of our marriage, and these stories are in the book. There is some blackout drinking at the beginning of our marriage. But at this point, it's like he was just drinking enough to feel good, drinking enough to, just to make it. But he was also still trying to hide it because he had all these other responsibilities. So, and then I caught him again in September and we had a come to Jesus moment. I was like, "You are choosing between your family and alcohol," which for an addict, there's not necessarily a choice. The addiction chooses them. However, I was like, "You are choosing. If I'm not going back through another Chicago," we called it Chicago, our dark years. Like the 2 years that we lived in Chicago were the 2 years that he was relapsing on and off. And then we ended up moving out to Oregon after that. And he was able to get sober, stay sober. However, I was like, "You are choosing between your family and alcohol." And we had 3 daughters at that point. I'm not making them go through blackout drunk again. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. And so I think in his mind, he got this really defiant look, which unless you've seen the look, you can't understand it. But he got this defiant look. And in his head, he started thinking, "I can't drink at home. I can't drink at home. I can't drink at home." So he was playing semi-pro football at the time, and he drove an hour from.
What team?
Semi-pro. So it was the Warhawks in Minnesota is what he was
Okay.
playing for.
For those who may know it, shout out
Right,
to
right,
them.
right. And he played for SaberCats. He played for a bunch of teams in Minnesota. And had it was and that's all that's in the book too. There are some football stories in the book. Uh, and he was on the SaberCats and he was center.
The
He
Arena Football League team or a different
It's
Saber
not.
cat?
It's different than arena.
Oh, okay.
He played arena too. He somehow figured out how to make football like last all year long in our house. And that it was football was not just NFL that started in the fall. It was, you have semi-pro which practiced, and then you had arena football in the summer, and you do the draft in the spring. And so he figured out how to make football last for forever. Uh, I used to have all sorts of things like statistics memorized that I I had no business knowing, but it was always football. Uh, anyway, so he played for these teams. He went away. He had to drive about an hour to get to practice that particular day. And on the way back, he stopped at a gas station, grabbed like some small bottles that you can grab, and he drank. And he drank a bunch of them. And I'm not even sure if he stopped and drank again or if it was just a one-time thing. But the alcohol, because he hadn't been drinking that much, the alcohol hit him much quicker than it
Yes.
did at when he was younger. And it hit him harder. And so he was still driving when he got drunk. He was about 13 miles from home. No one was injured, I will say
Dangerous.
that.
Thank
But
God.
he this would be funny if it wasn't so terrible, but he got turned around in a roundabout. Like missed the turn.
Oh, I hate those things.
Right. He was drunk, so he
Round
went
and around and around and around. That is kind of funny.
It is a little funny. So he was supposed to be going home, turned around, went back the way he was going, and into this other town, and got in a drunk driving accident.
Oh.
I got a call at 1:30 in the morning. Miss Evans, this is Sergeant Jeremy Reed with the New Ulm Police Department. There's been an accident. Your husband's been taken to the hospital. When he's released from the hospital, he will be arrested for the felony charge of fleeing police. So that was that.
I saw that.
Yes,
In
that's
the
the back
write-up,
cover
yep.
copy. Yeah. And then 6 hours later, the hospital called and said, Miss Evans, we found something on the CAT scan. Again, this is my real life. So he went to jail with a potential cancer diagnosis, which turned out to be a cancer diagnosis. Like
I saw
he had
that in the
cancer.
write-up. Yeah. I'm glad you're bringing it up. Exactly. This is all the addiction stuff. Someone could relate to the cancer thing or
Right.
yeah.
It's the whole thing. And I was stuck on, he lied to me. He drank and he drove and
yeah.
hid it
Yeah.
from me. And I am paying the price for his choices. I was stuck there. And the rest of the world was cancer, cancer, cancer. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. And so there was a lot of grief to try to pack into one tiny little moment. And somewhere in the midst of that, he lived 20 months diagnosis to death. And somewhere in the midst of that, he said, Sam, what are the chances I would be married to an author whose best work comes from wounds? I want you to write my story. I want you to interview me, and I want you to write my story. And I didn't want to because I knew how dark it was.
Yeah, you get too close to a subject at times.
Right. We'd been married 14 years at that point. Like I lived a lot of the dark with him and knew that part of his story would be part of my story. But to honor him and to honor people who battle addiction or battle shame, we really wanted it to happen. We wanted people to know that no matter how badly you screw up, God still loves you and that his love for you is not based on what you do or what you don't do.
Amen.
And so
if it were a movie, it's one of those things, it's based on a true story and people walk out of the theater saying, no, I don't believe that at all.
Right. No, but this really happened.
Yeah. And I didn't choose cancer. Cancer chose me too. I didn't choose this lack of a hairdo, the chemo, so I keep it shaved now. So I can relate to that part of the story. Yes.
Yeah, that was absolutely it's I still tell people my story and they look at me like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I wrote it in a creative nonfiction style. So it's written like fiction.
Oh, that's better. Yeah,
'Cause
I've
people like
got
that
a
better, I think.
yes, I've got a book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published, to help people who have a story in them get it out, from creation,
Yeah.
character building,
Awesome.
scenery building, publishing options, reviews, and promotion, blah, 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 blah. But I bring
Right.
that up not to try to promote that book, but
You're allowed to. It's your show.
yeah, but to make the point, memoirs. The memoir of John Doe. Well, who the hell is John Doe and why should I care? But the story of John Doe, fictionalized, can tell great tales and give life lessons. Yes?
Right. Right. So you're not just telling someone's life, you're inviting them into it. That's the difference. But it's still very much nonfiction. There are a couple scenes where I have to combine like different conversations or things that happen and pull them into one scene, but they all happen individually. It just,
They're a conglomerate. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
I love the movie Patriot Games with Wahlberg,
Oh,
about the
yes.
marathon, uh, Boston Marathon bombing. Same thing in books as with movies. In that movie, Mark Wahlberg's character was a conglomeration or a compilation or several people of that day, because you can't have 50,000 characters in a movie or a
No,
book. It gets too confusing. So,
correct.
like in your case, you took things that kind of sort of happened at different times, but did happen, but squeezed them into one scene that makes more
Yes.
sense.
One particular scene I did that with was visitations to homebound or shut-ins. He would go deliver communion to people all the time.
As
But
pastoral duties. Yeah.
correct. But no one wants to read about 16 different pastoral visits in a book.
Bingo. Perfect
So,
example.
so you take the pieces of all of them, and it's one character that he goes to visit twice in the book and two different times, and it matters. But the pieces of it are all real. And Millie, this character, is like you said, like a conglomeration of probably about 30 different people that he was going to visit.
Yeah, 30 visitations, people would be just too
They wouldn't have
confused,
read the
not
book.
able to
Like, why do
follow
we
it.
care? That's not what it's
Yeah.
about. But to show that he did visitations and to show what he was talking about when he did those visitations, that piece was very important.
You could save the other characters for the extended. I like to joke.
I don't even want to go there.
I'm gonna grab it right. There's the Google defined there is a short story, typically under 7,500 words. Novelette ranges 7,500 to 17,000 words. Novella, 17.5 to 40K words. A novel, 40,000 or more. And I dare say there should be a new category called novel X. Anything over 450 pages is too big for most people nowadays. That should be its own category. Anything over 450 pages, the user should be warned. This is a novel extend or a director's cut, if you will, right? The extended version of it.
Yes, 100%. I had to cut thousands of words because when I first wrote the book, I was writing it to write it. Just get it out. First version is for the writer, right? First version is for you. And then you go through and you say, okay, people aren't going to care about this. They're not going to care about this. I was like name dropping stuff because I wanted to honor people that were part of the story. But in the end, readers aren't going to understand who those people are. They're not going to get it. And it wasn't adding enough to it. So I ended up just taking some of it out, unfortunately.
I hear you. My terror strike's coming soon to a city near you. I cut whole chapters. I'm a former IT guy, but I cut out the cybersecurity chapter. I cut out this chapter, that chapter, because indeed, again, a 500-page book is too big. Right. The story in that now is 250-ish pages. The overall book, 286 or so. Right. That cost starts to get up too high then.
Yeah. And it's hard for readers because we're talking about word count, but then you translate that to page number. And
Yeah, I've got that broken down on my sheet.
oh, yeah. Tell me.
In like, novel, be 40,000 words or more, around 196,000 characters. Because when you're writing, you're not just dealing in words or page size, you're dealing in character count, word count, all,
Prodigal Son was about 90,000 words. Prodigal Son is like 300 pages, but there's a lot of space in there because there are actually images and things like that. So there are chapter breaks and things. So
I like including occasional images too. That's the
white
other
space
benefit, of modern publishing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to literally typeset the pages, and putting a picture on a page in a book 50 years ago was a big deal.
Yes,
now
it
with
was.
it all
Yes.
digital, you could throw them in all over the place, and it's just standard color printing, black and white printing, but yeah.
I recently learned about the Oxford comma too. Did you like?
I'm glad you brought that up because I can't remember what other Mickey author I had on, and we were joking about that because Mickey in his release, marriage, murder, something. It was that not Maria Jane. I don't remember,
Mayhem?
but anyway.
Was it like murder, mystery, mayhem?
Something like that. And, murder, comma, mystery, comma, mayhem, and mayhem. And he left one of the commas out.
Oh, did he?
That was actually in the title. So we joked for like 15 minutes about the Oxford comma and
how it matters. But people took it out because it saved
Mickey to
print.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly your point. Yes. It saved ink. I'm
Isn't that crazy?
years ago.
A comma.
100 years ago, one comma on this page across 300 pages adds up to significant ink. But today, we argue the Oxford comma has to be there because this comma, that comma, and the other thing is different from this comma, that, and the other thing.
Right.
That and the other thing become together when they're not. This comma, that comma, and the other thing. They're three things.
100%.
Leaving out the Oxford comma there changes the meaning.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I learned that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
When it comes to English, math was my favorite subject. I like to joke. But yes, I had a lot of English and creative writing classes, so I'd always insist. I took a journalism class too, and the Oxford comma was a big thing because, again, when you're doing journalism, the facts matter. If it's this, that, the other thing is a whole different story than this, comma, that, and the other thing.
Yes.
The details matter. And with
100%. Yes.
Modern printing and publishing, especially digital, all those extra commas don't hurt. They help. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So now I'm going to give Mickey a hard time again. We talked about the English, the Oxford comma again. He'll get a kick out of that. Oh, anyway, the time has flown. It indeed is now over 30 minutes. So let's wrap things up. Do you have a website for people to find you?
Yes. loveunedited.com.
Love Unedited. One T in there, yes?
Yes. .com.
.com, yeah.
Because I don't want people to have to spell Schritter.
That's
right.
Good idea, but that raises the point. Normally, I like to make sure the name is dropped at least 7 times for people.
SETschritter.
Yeah,
SETschritter. SETschritter. There you go.
S.E.Schritter, but there's a T on the front of that.
There is.
PSCHRITTER.
Yes.
Thank you Schritter.
Yes. So when people go to loveunedited.com, there's a Let's Connect button, and they can connect with YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. They can find me there. And I would love to connect with your listeners. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And despite my foggy/squirrely brain, we made it through.
We did great. This is a great conversation.
Thank you, SE. Take care. God bless.
God bless. Talk soon. Bye.
I woke up and immediately regretted it. Mornings, bah humbug. Could be great if not arrived so damn early. Brain still foggy, yet feeling squirrely. I woke up mad at the ceiling fan. My face said why before I could stand. Coffee's not enough for this haunted brain. I'm half a ghost in a school bus lane. Eyes like dust, steps like a joke. Hair doing math, I can't yet cope. The world showed up way too soon. I'm not awake, I'm barely noon. Too early again. Too early again. Bash my clock, amen. Too early again. Morning's got hands and the grab too tight. I need one more hour just to get my life. I met my socks in the dark by the sink. One went north, one went think. My keys were there in a bowl of doom. I lost my words to the hallway gloom. Eyes like dust, steps like a joke. Hair doing math, I can't yet cope. The world showed up way too soon. I'm not awake, I'm barely noon. Too early again. Too early again. Too early again. Too early. Bash my clock, amen. Too early again. Too early again. Morning's got hands and they grab too tight. I need one more hour just to get my life. If sunrise wants to fight it, pick the wrong guy. I'm wrinkled, I'm irritable, I don't know why. Give me a minute, give me a chair, give me a version of the day I can bear. Too early again. Too early again. Too early again. Too early. Bash my clock, amen. Too early again. Too early again. Morning's got hands and they grab too tight. I need one more hour just to get my life. Too early again. Too early again. Mornings, too early again. They'd be alright if they started around 1 o'clock in the afternoon light. Let me sleep till the day is already half gone. Mornings, y'all can carry on. Mornings were rough with that bah humbug bite. Now the sun's past noon and I'm losing the fight. Coffee's gone cold, motivation took flight. Welcome to the afternoon blahs. clock hits 3:15, eyes heavy as lead. That third cup betrayed me, now I'm half dead. Emails are laughing, the to-do list won't quit, but my brain checked out and it ain't coming back yet. Staring at the screen while the cursor just blinks. Brain fog so thick you could stir it with a drink. Tried a power nap, woke up more confused. Afternoon blahs got me thoroughly bruised. It's the afternoon blahs, yeah, they hit me hard. Between lunch and quitting time, life's a discard. Energy crashed, motivation's on strike. Afternoon blah, Lord, throw me a lifeline tonight. Morning said, bah humbug. Now this is the sequel bite. Afternoon blahs, hold me tight. Michigan in my blood, that familiar drag. Once Motor City muscle, now I'm stuck in this lag. Great Lake shining outside, but I'm glued to this chair, trying real hard, but the afternoon just ain't fair. Factories closed, politicians still taxing the soul. Same old story, we keep falling back in the hole. From morning bah humbug straight into midday blues. Afternoon blahs got me paying my dues. Living in the states of confusion, coast to coast, it's the same now. Even the hours of the day are playing the blame game. Mass hysteria mornings, California dreams at night. State of misery middays and Illinois by daylight. Michigan afternoons got me feeling the squeeze. Flyover energy lost somewhere over the trees. Red states, blue states, doesn't matter the zip. Afternoon blahs don't care who you are, they still hit. Mornings say, bah humbug. Afternoons whisper, why even try? But somewhere past 5 o'clock, the evening might let this old boy fly. It's the afternoon blahs, yeah, they hit me hard. From bah humbug sunrise to this midday discard. Energy's gone, but I'm still in the fight. Afternoon blahs, Lord have mercy on this midday plight. We're all living in states of confusion, that much is true. But these afternoon blahs, they're coming for me and you. Lord have mercy. Afternoon blahs, yeah, that's me. Mornings, bah humbug. Afternoons, states of confusion. Lord have mercy on the people we.
Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist Podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.